Hey guys, what's going on? It's MassiveJoes RAW review, and I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Awesome raw review for the viewers at home today from the highly anticipated new sleep and muscle recovery supplement from our good friends at Core Nutritionals. It is, of course, Core Z in the house. Let's get straight into it, show you guys exactly what's in it, tell you exactly what it's going to do. That nutritional information panel ain't going to get it done. We're about to go balls deep in this here Core Z. Luckily, got ourselves a big ass nutritional information panel for the viewers at home. Dylan, go ahead and cut that nutritional information panel up on screen for the viewers, man. Starting from the top, serving size 1 scoop, 12.5 grams. Got yourself about 20 of them 12.5 gram bitches in one of these 20 serve Core Z's bitches. In terms of what the 12.5 grams is made up of, if you do a quick summation and add up all of the active ingredients, you'll find that there's 9.39 grams of total active, so we're dealing with about 25% flavor, which is pretty good for a sleep supplement, definitely towards the lower end of inactive ingredients or flavoring and stabilizing ingredients that we've seen in a sleep supplement thus far. Starting from the top, of course, the labels are Australian regulation, so zeros across the board with energy, protein, fat, carbs, sugar, fiber, and sodium. And then we get into the goodness. Vitamin B6, magnesium, and zinc. That is your ZMA complex all together there, viewers at home. In terms of the dosages per serving, which is per scoop, the vitamin B6, 10 milligrams, the magnesium, 450 milligrams, the zinc, 30 milligrams. That is, if you do any research of your own on the optimal dosage and ratios of zinc, magnesium, and vitamin B6 for the ZMA blend, that is what you will come up with. That is what you will find. You will see 30 milligrams of zinc, 450 milligrams of magnesium, and 10 milligrams of vitamin B6 in those amounts, in that ratio. That is the ideal way to supplement with ZMA. For viewers at home who are unaware, ZMA increases the quality of sleep and increases muscle recovery. Moving right along, we've then got Gamma-Aminobutyric Acid, aka GABA, in a 3,000 milligram dose, viewers at home. I'll come back to that in a second. Let's just go through what GABA does. Does two things. The first thing it does is it's the main regulator of muscle tone in the human body, and it does that through increasing the secretion of growth hormone. Secondly, it's a neurotransmitter. But it's not an excitatory neurotransmitter. It's not the kind of neurotransmitter that actually increases concentration, increases cognition, has excitatory effects. It's actually the opposite. It's what we call an inhibitory neurotransmitter. So the way that it actually works, as it has an inhibitory effect, it causes the calming and relaxation and actually neutralizes the other excitatory neurotransmitters. So what it actually does in its inhibitory nature is calms you the down. Now, in terms of dosage, I said the 3,000 milligram doses needs to be noted, man. The clinical dose, depending on what study you look at and what kind of effects they were looking at, whether it was for GH secretion or whether it was for the inhibitory neurotransmitting effect. If it's the inhibitory neurotransmitter effect, it's towards 250 milligrams. Maybe up to 1,000 milligrams. If it's the GH secretion effect, it's 2,000 milligrams. So my brother Doug Miller, CEO of Core Nutritionals, is going and throwing 3,000 milligrams in a scoop of this Core Z. I would go so far as to say that's overdosed. That's a shitload of GABA. Why has he done that? Well, let's continue, and I'll tell you in a second why. Moving right along, we've then got L-glycine, the amino acid L-glycine, also in a 3,000 milligram dose, which is 3,000 milligrams. Glycine, once again, is an amino acid that can be used for a bunch of different things. In terms of increasing quality of sleep, the clinical dose is actually 3,000 milligrams. That's what the studies have been done on. So that's clinically dosed. In that dosage taken before bedtime, glycine is able to increase the quality of sleep, actually decrease the time taken to get to sleep, so it can actually help put you to sleep, and also reduce morning fatigue. So reduce that feeling of tiredness when you first get up in the morning. You're like, man, I could sleep like another half hour or another hour, or if you've had one of those nights, another 5-6 hours. Can actually reduce that feeling of fatigue. Moving right along, we then get L-tryptophan. L-tryptophan, an essential amino acid, which means it has to be consumed from whole food sources. Your body cannot create it from other sources, is a precursor to serotonin, which is then converted to melatonin, which is the sleep hormone for the human body, man. Obviously, melatonin able to induce, so actually put you to sleep, and maintain sleep, so keep you asleep. The 1,000 milligram dose of L-tryptophan is also considered a clinical dose of L-tryptophan for that purpose. Moving right along, we've then got beta-phenyl Gamma-Aminobutyric Acid hydrochloride. Sounds a lot like GABA, aka phenobut hydrochloride. Phenobut, obviously through the name, you guys can probably figure this shit out yourself, is a derivative of GABA. But phenobut is actually, because of the phenyl chain, is actually able to cross the blood-brain barrier. Whereas GABA, it's not 100% in the scientific community 100% sure if it is able to cross that blood-brain barrier. Some people think it can, some people think it has the ability to, but doesn't 100%. Other scientists say there's no way it can cross the blood-brain barrier. Whereas phenobut, consensus is, can actually cross the blood-brain barrier. And as a derivative of GABA that's able to cross the blood-brain barrier, this is where it gets real cool, viewers at home. It upregulates the GABA B and GABA A receptors, which means that your body is actually able to receive and uptake more GABA than you otherwise would be able to, because the receptors are upregulated to be able to do that. So this is, I love seeing this shit in supplements, man. I love it when supplements are put together with ingredients in dosages that actually work synergistically to each other. Anybody can go and say, I want clinical dose of this ingredient, this ingredient, this ingredient, this ingredient, throw the shit together, call it a clinical dose supplement, and you're good to go. And that's fantastic. But to take this shit to the next level is when you start putting ingredients in there that actually work synergistically with each other. So we've already went through the fact that GABA is overdosed. The top dose is like 2,000 milligrams. Doug Miller, CEO of Core Nutritionals, put 3,000 milligrams in here. But then he's also put phenobut, which upregulates your GABA A and GABA B receptors, which means they're actually able to receive more GABA. So now the reason why he's put more GABA becomes completely apparent. I love this shit, man. It puts a smile on my dial, you know what I'm saying? The clinical dose of phenobut, just to go back to phenobut, is anywhere between 250 and 1,000 milligrams. In this here Core Z's, it's dosed at 1,000 milligrams, so full clinical dose, if not overdose once again. Moving right along, we then got valerian extract from the root, standardized to 1% valeric acids. Valerian root acts as a brain sedative, so once again another ingredient that's actually going to calm your brain down and help you get to sleep or put you to sleep. Clinical dose on valerian, there's been a bunch of studies done ranging from 120 milligrams to 900 milligrams. In this Core Z, it hits about the middle of that range at a 500 milligram dose. And then finally we've got L-ornithine, the conditionally essential amino acid, which means it's only essential in times of stress. In layman's terms, that's what conditionally essential means. It means most times it's non-essential, your body can create it from other sources, but during times where you're stressed, where your body is under stress and it can't do that, you do need to supplement with it or consume it from whole food sources. That's what conditionally essential means. In terms of what L-ornithine does, during times of stress, when it does become essential, it acts as a sedative. So also another ingredient that can put you to sleep. Also, very similar to glycine, to the amino acid glycine, increases the quality of sleep, reduces the time to get to sleep, and has a big effect on reducing fatigue in the AM. Got yourself some natural flavors, no artificial flavors, no artificial colors, some sweeteners and some stabilizers. And that's what's in it. So it's a very it's a very well put together on paper sleep supplement. Not only are you getting clinical or over clinical doses of all the ingredients in there, from the amino acids to the GABA, to the GABA receptor upregulator, to a full dose of ZMA, I might add, to ingredients that work synergistically with each other. On paper, it looks like a very, very well put together sleep supplement. In terms of how it tastes, how it mixes, comes at the moment in just one flavor. It's just been released, so comes in one flavor. Comes in Raz with the 3 Z's, berry, lemonade. Got myself my personal tub of this here called Z's, man. This is one I've been using. Gonna whip open this bitch. And check out the size of this scoop, viewers at home. We've already been through the scoop, 12.5 grams. Look at the size of this monstrous scoop for a sleep supplement. Check that shit out, man. Look at that, up against the hand there. Look how big that scoop is, man. That shit is crazy as shit. Anyway, gonna take myself a full scoop of this here Core Z's. Infamous MassiveJoes taste and mixability test about to go down in a double wall glass. Gonna take myself a full scoop. And it does say on the label, so we don't get it twisted, it says mix 1 scoop with 4 to 6 ounces of water. So I've got in here, in this glass, 6 ounces of water. So we're going based on directions. Full scoop, Core Z's. Throw this bitch in this bitch and let it rain, let it rain. Gonna put in a few flicks of the wrist. Man, that is a big ass, that is a big scoop for just 6 ounces of water. That's a lot of shit to dissolve in there. Anyway, few flicks of the wrist. I'm gonna show you guys how it mixes and refresh my memory on how this Core Z tastes, man. All right, that's enough. So you can see, pretty well mixed. You don't have any floaters in there. I will tell you guys, if I let it sit here, you will accumulate sinkers. There's a lot of shit in there, and it doesn't particularly dissolve too well in water. So can you see that down the bottom? We're starting to, here, let me get some angles in this bitch. Starting to accumulate some sinkers. You see that shit? So you will get those. That's why it's best to like stir it and just like knock it back, throw it down. It's not a lot of water, 6 ounces of water. If we're using the metric systems, like 180 mils of water, it's not a lot of water. You guys can see that, it's not a lot of water. Just shut that mother down. That being said, I would go so far as to say blender bowl is not required for this here Core Z's. Let me refresh my memory on how this raspberry lemonade tastes, man. I'm not gonna drink any more than that because when I tell you guys about the effects, I'll let you know what effect this supplement has on me. And I don't particularly want that effect right now. But in terms of the flavor is not great. It's not spectacular. It's not the sort of flavor where you're like, man, I'm actually gonna like really look forward to drinking that. But it's not bad. And particularly for a sleep supplement, sleep supplements are renowned for being the worst tasting supplements, right next to powdered test boosters in the entire supplement industry. So in terms of, for a sleep supplement, for those ingredients, it's quite pleasant. I would go so far as to say it's a pleasant raspberry lemonade flavor. So I think Core Nutritionals and CEO Doug Miller have done a pretty good job for a sleep supplement. And remember, no artificial flavors and only 25% to play around with. So they haven't gone and made it like a 50% artificial flavored shit. They've gone and they've said no artificial flavors, it's gonna be naturally flavored, and we're only gonna use 25% of them with all the stabilizers and shit. So granted, they've actually done, on second thought, they've actually done a really good job with that particular flavor. In terms of the effects, because that's what you're taking your Core Z's for, man. That's what you're taking your sleep supplement for, viewers at home. I've taken a lot of sleep supplements before. I've done a lot of raw reviews on a lot of different sleep supplements. I've probably taken, man, at least 90% of the sleep supplements on the market. So I consider myself pretty well versed when it comes to the effects of sleep supplements. The best way that I can describe the effect this Core Z's has on me and be able to differentiate it from other sleep supplements that I've tried, there's two things that you'll notice with this Core Z's. The first thing is it puts you to sleep. It's one of those sleep supplements. You know how sometimes you get sleep supplements that won't actually put you to sleep, but once you get to sleep, they'll keep you asleep? Almost complete opposite with this Core Z. This Core Z will actually put you to sleep. I take a scoop of this shit, man, and like within 15 minutes, probably even less, I'm just like, out, cold. It puts you to sleep, and it's fantastic, especially for people, you know, sometimes with me in particular, I train so late at night. If I have a strong pre-workout at like 8:30 at night, you know, I can still be buzzing at like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I need to get to sleep because I got to be up at 5 or 6 the next morning. That's where you want a sleep supplement that actually just knocks you out and puts you to sleep. And Core Z does a very good job of that. Almost no matter how hyped up I am, how much my brain is ticking over, how physically excited I am, I take Core Z and it's like lights out, game over, it's time to sleep. So that's the first really good effect. The second really good effect is even on minimal sleep. So I've taken Core Z and slept like 4 hours. You don't wake up drowsy. You don't wake up feeling fatigued. You wake up, the alarm goes off and it's like, let's go. It's time to go, even on minimal sleep. So I've taken Core Z when I've slept like 8 hours. I've taken Core Z when I've slept 6 hours. I've taken Core Z when I've slept as little as like 3.5 hours. And it's almost the same effect every time. You wake up, and when it's time to wake up, it's time to wake up, it's time to go. There's no morning drowsiness, there's no morning after fatigue or anything like that. It's just a really good sleep and you wake up feeling really rested and ready to go. In terms of the one thing it doesn't do, and I do have to point this out because sleep supplements are a personal preference. There's a lot of them on the market, and depending on what effect you're looking for, you're gonna go one way or another depending on which supplement is gonna give you that desired effect. The one thing that Core Z doesn't do very well that I found is it doesn't keep you asleep. So some sleep supplements will keep you asleep. Core Z does not keep you asleep. I'll take Core Z and I'll still get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. Or I'll take Core Z and I'll still get up in the middle of the night if the dog barks or some shit like that. It doesn't completely flatline you like other sleep supplements do. That's one thing that I haven't found. So really good at putting you to sleep very quickly, really good at getting you very good quality sleep to the point where you wake up in the morning not feeling drowsy, not feeling fatigued, but not very good at keeping you asleep. So if you want a sleep supplement that's gonna help you sleep for like 10 or 12 hours, if you're one of them lucky motherfuckers that has that sort of time to sleep, Core Z's not really going to do that. That's where you look at a different supplement. But if you're after a sleep supplement that is going to really put you to sleep very quickly, and no matter how little sleep you get, help you help you wake up feeling refreshed, feeling non-drowsy, non-fatigued, and ready to go, you really have to get yourself a tub of this here Core Z's. Guys, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, man. Stay up to date with all the latest editions of MassiveJoes RAW review and all the other deliciousness in our YouTube channel. And guys, that is MassiveJoes RAW review on the all new Core Z in the house. And I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com.